Jason Maynard, senior analyst at Wells Fargo Securities, is bullish on the stock and joins us now from our San Francisco studio. Hey there, Jason. So should we be excited or disappointed about this? Obviously, it is not the iPhone 5, and that seems to be the headline here.
Yeah, I think a lot of people wanted to see a shiny new device, and I guess that might have made some people happy. But I think you got to look past it, and I think Corey said it best. The guts of this phone are pretty amazing. The software is actually spectacular. And I think the fact that they have brought together iCloud into a complete service, I mean, that's the real story to me. So, yes, we did not get a new shiny piece of device that we could look and play with, but I still think the phone and the overall experience is better, and that's what really matters in the long run, I think, for investors.
Now, without getting too technical, how is the phone actually different? How is the 4S going to be better than the iPhone 4?
Well, I think you start with the processor, so you're going to have faster capabilities there. The graphics are better, so that's going to be some rich applications that you didn't have before. The wireless antenna capabilities are going to be better, so we should have better reception, faster downloads. So again, it's all the things that you're going to do with your phone that are going to be better. So again, it's a better overall experience for consumers, and I think that's ultimately what'll matter. Is once you get the phone out into the wild, you'll be able to enjoy it more and do more things with it.
Jason, what doesn't the 4S have that we were maybe expecting?
I think a lot of folks wanted to see maybe a bigger screen size, maybe a little different form factor for the device. Those are probably the two biggies that folks were hoping for. Perhaps it's going to come now in the next version at some point next year. But I would say those are the two hot buttons.
Now, a lot has been made of the new voice recognition features. How is this actually going to change how consumers use their iPhone and potentially fundamentally change how we all use phones in the future?
Yeah, I thought this was the killer app, and voice being something that, that's what we used to do solely on phones. But they launched Siri, which was an acquisition, and it's a voice-activated interactive assistant. So you can say things like, set my alarm for 6, it'll automatically do that. Find me a sushi restaurant in San Francisco, and it'll do a voice search to actually bring you back those results. So you're going to be able to do a lot of different things without actually having to use touch to interact with your phone. It's voice-based. I think it's a really cool set of features, something that no other phone has in the marketplace.
Why not just call it an iPhone 5? Is there something so much bigger and better coming down the line that they had to make this a more incremental upgrade, or at least convey that message?
Yeah, I hear where you're going with that, and I think that's a very fair question. The software is iOS 5. Maybe they're holding out for the next big LTE-based phone where they do some radical changes to the look and feel as well for the 5. But from a marketing standpoint, the 4S is probably not as sexy as the 5.
So I think a lot of consumers out there are wondering, should I upgrade now or should I wait? And am I going to regret it if I buy the iPhone 4S?
Well, I think a lot of people will buy the 4S. I think after maybe some of the Twitterati, if you will, and some of the folks there who are following it too, very closely, after some of that disappointment fades, I think you're going to see lines around the stores. Consumers are going to go for this version. It's the best thing on the marketplace. So I expect you're going to see a lot of folks take this. And you got to remember, there's also a lot of folks who did not go into 4 who are still candidates for upgrades, and I suspect you're going to see a lot of those go in the next 6 months.
Is the fact that this is quote-unquote just an iPhone 4S, do you think that's going to impact sales at all?
Well, I think the guts of the phone from the processor standpoint and the camera, plus the software, plus the overall experience with the cloud, are really compelling. And I think that is, if you will, the combination of those three make it the killer experience. So I still think they're going to blow numbers away and people are going to opt for an iPhone. It's the market leader, and that's what people want.
Okay, but we had an analyst on earlier who said he didn't think that the 4S, the fact that this is not an iPhone 5, is going to affect sales at all. Would you agree with that, or do you think there could be a little bit of a cutback in terms of where sales could have been if indeed this was called the iPhone 5?
I don't think the name is going to have that big of an impact. I think you could argue perhaps the screen size and maybe a different shape to the phone might have been more better received by folks. But I still think a lot of folks are going to go to the phone. Maybe your Verizon users who just bought an iPhone 4 won't make the leap right away. But I think you got plenty of new folks coming on with Sprint. Got a lot of folks moving off of Nokia and RIM smartphones. and they're taking it into more countries. So I think they're going to do just fine.
Either way, they're going to sell a lot. Piper Jaffray estimating Apple will sell 25 million iPhones in the last quarter. All right, thanks. Jason Maynard of Wells Fargo. Always great to have you here on Bloomberg West.